Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We're going to take a look at a RAP4 stock today. This is designed for the 98 Custom or similar model gun. And what sets this stock slightly apart from everything else is it has a built-in velocity adjuster in the back. Now I'm sure any of you guys who own 98 Customs or have seen them or are interested in them know that there is a velocity adjuster that you can get to replace the back cap, where you can actually spin it and control the tension of the mainspring, controlling the drive of the hammer, which in turn will control velocity slightly. This incorporates that piece, the velocity adjuster, a rear velocity adjuster with a stock. One thing about the RAP4 version is it does not come with an index tab on it. And so if you were to install it into your 98 Custom, like this one right here, this Platinum Series, without putting anything on it, once you installed it in and tightened everything down, it would just be able to rotate around in circles, which isn't going to help you at all. So what I've done with this one is I've taken an O-ring. They've cut a groove in this section right here, which is for an O-ring. Excuse me, I've put one on there. It is a 1770, just a standard Buna O-ring. You can use different sizes if you like something that's a little bit tighter, a little bit looser, whatever you want. But there is a channel cut in there specifically for that purpose. If we look at the front right here, you can see you've got your main hole right here where your drive nail or spring guide is going to run in there. And then there's a top hole for your ACT spring if you're running a gun with the anti-chop technology in it. The thumb wheel to control tension on the spring is kind of in a funny spot to get your fingers on and turn it, but they have cut a Allen key hole in the front of it, so you can use an Allen key to turn it. Kind of takes the benefit of being able to adjust the rear of the gun without any tools kind of out of the thing, and you could just go use that Allen key and adjust it the normal way. But it is loose enough where you can get in there and turn it with your fingers. It's just a little bit more difficult. So we'll go ahead and put one on. Again, this is a 98 Custom Platinum Series. Lets me take apart the back of the gun without having to touch the front of the gun. So I've got all my screws loosened up on there. We'll go ahead and walk our front off, kind of rock it back and forth on all sides. Once I get it up to the point where I think it's going to come off, I'm going to hold my hammer down so that doesn't come shooting out. And I can go ahead and lift the side of the body off. Always check to make sure everything's in the right spot. Once you've lifted your body off, sear spring's there, trigger spring's there, all my pins are in, everything looks good. So go ahead and take our back plug out. Always hold on to your hammer when you take your plug out so that your hammer doesn't lift up and things go shooting out all over the place. So we'll hold on to it, lift our plug up, pull everything out. We can set that to the side. Always make sure that your bumper O-ring rides around your spring. The spring doesn't ride over it or to the side, and your O-ring does not go in the grooves right there. It just floats freely in the back space back here. So we'll run our spring through our bumper and into our hammer. Take our stock with the O-ring on it, run it into the middle there, compress it down, and drop it into place. Now, if you run a really, really big O-ring on this stock right here, you might have trouble getting the bodies back together. And if you run too small of one, then it'll just rotate around in there. It won't help you any. So experiment with a bunch of different ones and see which one you like the best. Before we put our top back on, we want to always make sure everything's in the right spot. All the springs are there, our pins are there, hammer's in the right spot, our bumper O-ring's good. Go ahead and close it up and tighten it down. Now, if you go to put your halves back together and they don't drop in that easy, don't force it. Just take it off again, reset all your pieces, and try over. All right. Now we want to make sure that this is nice and tight back here. So we're going to give that a good tightening. There. And it's nice and tight on the back there. And you can see, even with it in the gun, I'm still able to turn this by hand But if it was super tight or I had this gun cocked back like this, a little bit harder to turn. So I could use the Allen key if I want to, but it's still able to turn it by hand. Gun shoots, everything's ready. So we're ready to go out and play. So again, if you're looking to have the function of a stock, but still be able to control velocity through the back of the gun, check this stock out. This is the RAP4 skeleton style stock with rear adjustment, available through the website. Order yours now through ANSgear.com.